13 biggest assholes in Greek mythology.
Written by Bob Bricken. It's not really a mystery.
Right?
That was some segue you had there.
I mean, like, if you take out all the things that Zeus had sex with in the mythology, like, it basically goes to a really thin book. It's like a really thick book. You go really thin.
Now, speaking
really
of
small
toast on jam, Christmas.
Right?
Christmas coming up. All right. Let's see. It's a mystery why ancient Greeks worshipped their gods, because their gods were all complete dickheads. Of course, the kings and heroes of ancient Greece were often terrible people, so maybe the gods were just on par for the course.
Let's see. Zeus, number 1. Really, they're going to use it. Okay, they're going to order it in this. That's fine. Zeus. You think he would be at the bottom or the very last one? Okay, they may start at like 15 and then go to 1. That's fine. Where to start with this guy? Zeus was, of course, the guy in charge of the gods and the universe. Everyone, both mortal and immortal, called him father, both to represent his status and because in ancient Greece, there was a 30% chance that Zeus actually sired you. Zeus cheated on his wife Hera constantly, and the sex didn't need to be consensual. Once he decided to F a woman, he was going to court her. And if he had to be a swan, a bull, or a golden shower of light to do it, he didn't care. Like all the gods, Zeus could hold a grudge, so if you peed him off once, you were completely screwed. As Prometheus found out when he gave humanity fire, Zeus chained him to a rock and had an eagle eat his liver every day for eternity, just for being nice to us. Wow.
Number 2, Kronos. To be fair, Zeus had a pretty screwed up childhood. After hearing a prophecy that one of his children would overthrow him, his dad Kronos, the Titan, ate all his children. Zeus only escaped because his mom fed Kronos a rock and baby clothes, which she assumed was his kid. That right there tells you that he wasn't a good father. This looks like my son. It takes a special kind of a-hole, not just to kill his own kids, but eat them, let alone being dumb enough to mistake a baby for a rock. Yep. But Cronus didn't do things half measures. He didn't just overthrow his own dad, Uranus, but he castrated him too. Ooh.
Dang, dude.
Number 3, Uranus.
Kronos' dad wasn't really any better of a father. Honestly, Uranus was essentially the sky who made love with Gaia, the earth, who, according to some versions of the myth, was his mother. By the way, Gaia gave birth to the Titans and a few humongous monsters. Uranus imprisoned the monsters in tartar sauce deep inside his mom, where they
This one's very suggestive.
hurt the heck out of her. No fun. Causing her to conspire with Kronos to kill and castrate Uranus. Gaia was very firm about the castrating part. Father's Day must have been super awkward in ancient Greece.
Hera. I didn't mention the worst part about Zeus's constant seduction and or sexual harassment of every pretty girl in Greece. His wife Hera would inevitably torture the woman too. Oof. Like some wives, Hera blamed the woman for their husband's infidelity. Admittedly, it was kind of tough to punish the king of the universe for anything, even if they had tried to refuse Zeus's amorous advances. Hera turned them into monsters, banned them from giving birth on land, tricked Zeus into murdering them, and more. And children resulting were not spared either, as Hercules learned when Hera tried to kill him for his entire life, starting when he was a baby, of course. She wasn't much better with her own kids. When she gave birth to the ugly Hephaestus, she threw the baby off a mountain. Yikes.
Dang,
Poor
dude.
Hephaestus. Number 5, Hades.
Hades was the lord of the underworld and death, but he was generally a pretty chill guy. That is until he saw Persephone, the daughter of the goddess Demeter. Like so many of the male gods, Pluto believed, why ask a woman on a date when you can just abduct her against her will? Wow, not cool. And he kidnapped her to be his bride. Not only was this a dick move to Demeter and her daughter,
Demeter?
it was a dick move to all of humanity. Demeter was the goddess of the harvest, And she was so upset at her daughter's disappearance that she forbade the world from producing any food. Zeus eventually forced Hades to give Persephone back to her mom because everybody was starving to death, but not before he tricked his bride into eating some pomegranate seeds, ensuring she spent 3 months a year with him in the underworld. Wow, pomegranate's pretty crazy.
Never eating pomegranates again?
No.
He kills you for 3 months. Athena, even the wisest and kindest, could be kind of a dick sometimes.
Isn't that Wonder Woman?
That's Wonder Woman.
Athena's Wonder Woman, isn't it?
No, what? Was it? I can't remember. That might have been.
I thought that was. Oh wait, Diana. Athena was her mother's name.
I think they looked up to Athena. I believe.
Oh, let's read and find out.
Even the wise kind of go on a dick sometimes. Athena was generally the most level-headed of all the gods, but even she had a temper. When Poseidon had his way with beautiful priestess Medusa in one of Athena's temples, the goddess was so peed off that Medusa had somehow not managed to fend off the advantage of the god of the sea. She turned her into a monster with snakes for hair, and then she later helped Perseus kill Medusa. Athena was one of the goddesses who helped start the Trojan War, because she was PO'd off when Paris awarded Aphrodite first prize in the impromptu goddess beauty contest, and when she heard about a woman named Arachne, right?
Yeah.
Arachne?
I guess
I haven't heard of that one. Who boasted she was better at weaving than the goddess herself, she challenged the mortal and lost. She was so mad that she turned Arachne into a spider.
Well, now you can weave all you want.
Weaving hell you've been.
Jason? Jason was a god?
Jason?
Okay.
No, he's just in Greek mythology.
Okay. Jason. You didn't have to be a god to be an a-hole in ancient Greece, but it sure helps. Ha! Even the heroes manage to be pretty unheroic sometimes, especially Jason. Of the Argonauts' fame, the story goes that he was supposed to inherit easily, but his uncle Peleus killed the king. When Jason arrived, Peleus sent him to go fetch the golden fleece to prove his claim to the throne. While this was an adventure, is also a heist because somebody already owned the fleece, namely King Eddie's. Jason didn't just steal the fleece, he stole Eddie's daughter Medea, whom Jason had promised to marry for helping him get it. Once Jason was back in Thessaly and won the throne.
And I think that's a typo.
Yeah, he kicked Medea to the curb, as well as the children she'd given him, and married some chick from Corinth instead. This didn't go well for Jason.
Medea. Or Medea. Medea's Christmas? Medea's Halloween? Medea and Dea. Why did this not go well for Jason? You know, Medea? You ever see Medea? In commercials?
No.
It's the Tyler Perry, I think.
I don't watch TV.
Oh, right. You don't have... Okay. Well, I'm sure if you Googled it, you'd know exactly who I was talking about. You probably... It's she goes back quite a ways. It's like a man dressed up as an old woman.
Okay.
I'll show you. Why does not go well for Jason? Because Medea was crazy. She betrayed her father and helped Jason steal the fleece for love. But that's fine. Using her magic, she tricked King Peleus' daughter into thinking she could make her dad young again by making him into soup. And it gets worse because when Jason abandoned her,
she abandoned her kids.
She gave the replacement woman, the new bride, a dress that set itself on fire. And then she got rid of her kids.
We all know what happens in Minecraft when it gets set on fire.
Ooh, ooh. What is it? What's the noise?
You know what? I hear it all the time and I just can't recreate it at the moment.
Ooh.
That's...
Yeah. No, that's not it.
That's pretty close. Anteus. Anteus was a more traditional a-hole, the son of Poseidon and his grandmother Gaia. The half-giant Anteus literally just hung out by the road and killed anyone stupid enough to agree to fight him in a wrestling match. He took all their skulls with the intent of turning them into the world's creepiest shrine to his dad. Thanks to his mother, Anteus was undefeatable whenever he was touching the ground. He just killed a lot of travelers until Hercules wandered by, picked him up, and crushed him to death.
I mean, it didn't say he killed people. He challenged them. So if they didn't agree to fight him, he'd leave him alone, right?
That's true.
So it's not the worst guy. I mean, if you saw a shrine of skulls like behind him, you're like, oh, I'm good, thanks. Bye.
But the fame and fortune.
But the fame. Gaia helped him. Oh, because he's everything's in the ground, right? So as long as he's connected to Gaia, he's strong.
Right.
Number 10, Minos. Sounds familiar. First of all, King Minos of Crete, or is it Crete? Crete, had a labyrinth built. He stuffed it with the murderous Minotaur. Oh yeah, that's right. No one has ever built a giant maze and put a monster in it with good intentions. He imprisoned the master builder, Tantalus, to make it, which wasn't nice either. Minos tricked Celia, the daughter of the king of Megara, into helping kill her father. And then afterwards, he decided to drag her behind a boat until she was glubbed. This is sound for the crime of talking. He talked her into committing. Okay. So he tricked her, and then he sentenced her to death because she went through with it.
Wow.
But the best known story of Minos is when he sent his son Androgynous to fight the Pan-Atheniaic Games, where he won. The king of Athens got pissed and tricked the kid into fighting a bull. Minos was not a good guy, even to people he liked. So he kicked the hell out of the Athens and demanded the sacrifice of 7 completely innocent Athenian boys and girls every 9 years to throw in the labyrinth. When Poseidon sent him a great white bull out of the sea, Minos promised to sacrifice it to the god, but then he switched it out. So Poseidon punished Minos by making his wife fall in love with the bull, because Poseidon was also an a-hole.
Wow.
Do you follow what has happened?
Ixion. When Ixion married Medea, he didn't pay the bride price, the traditional gift grooms gave to their fathers and father-in-laws. Dea's dad, Dinius, was rightfully offended at this, and in retaliation, not so rightly, stole a few of Ixion's horses. Ixion's response? Pushing his father-in-law into a bed of burning hot coals, Xing him instantly. But it gets worse. Ixion went insane. As the first mortal kinslayer in Greek mythology, somehow Zeus actually felt bad for the guy and brought him to Mount Olympus, where he immediately started trying to have sex with Zeus's wife Hera. Zeus no longer felt bad for the guy after creating a cloud that looked like a Hera, which as he did F, the semen falling down the mountain and creating the centaurs, because why not? Thus proving his guilt. Zeus strapped him into a burning wheel of fire in Hades for the rest of eternity.
Listen, if you find centaurs on the ground, that means he's guilty.
God.
Wow, it's just... I could see,
it's
like...
cloud, it's so soft!
You know, I could see, like, a reality TV show based on this stuff. You know, with all the misdemeanors here.
Oh my god. He's like, they're probably gonna kill me, so why not? Just go for it.
Okay. Tantalus. Yeah.
Right.
Tantalus. Tantalus was hosting a barbecue for the gods when he decided it was super funny to murder his own son, cook him, and then secretly feed him to his divine guests. A tee. Funny joke. What
Just
a prank.
Just a prank, bro.
Just a prank, guys. This did not fool the gods. It didn't fool anyone besides Demeter, who was so busy mourning her recently kidnapped daughter she accidentally ate a piece of the shoulder. Zeus immediately sent Tantalus to Hades, where he was placed in a knee-deep pool with an apple tree right overhead. It sounds alright until you remember that Tantalus was cursed with eternal hunger and thirst. Oh yeah, this guy. And the water and the apple shrank away from him, so he could never eat or drink. The gods resurrected the boy, along with a snazzy new ivory shoulder, and took him to Olympus. Then at some point, Zeus was still so mad at Tantalus, he threw the kid off the mountain because Zeus is an asshole.
Oh, God. Definitely not the Zeus from the Hercules Disney movie. Am I right?
I mean, anytime anyone gets brought to like Olympus, I mean that's probably scarier than going to Hades.
That's why the guy was going after the after the one goddess, because he was like, I know what's happening next, so I'm just going for it.
He knew he was doomed from the beginning.
Let's go for it.
At some point, he would walk in front of, look at a god, and they're like, "Did you just stare at me funny? You're a goat now. Get out of here."
Sisyphus was a king who had a bad habit of murdering his guests, which was a major no back in ancient Greece. Admittedly, it's still kind of frowned upon. But really pissed off the gods is how clever Sisyphus was. When he was first taken to Hades to be punished for his sins, he managed to trick death into the chains intended for him, and then he escaped while no one on earth died. And then when he was caught, he had his wife toss his naked body into the town square instead of giving it a proper burial. He complained about this to Persephone and asked if he could go topside to scold his wife. Persephone said yes, as if he escaped again. Eventually he was caught and chained in hell, where he was forced to roll a boulder uphill for all eternity. Wow.
I'm kind of unsatisfied with how I died. Can I just go back up real quick? Just real quick.
I just want to give her a piece of my mind.
Well, I guess that's fine. Well,
so what did you think of those 13 greatest assholes of Greek mythology?
I think we could have seen even more. I think there's a lot more we haven't even touched
upon.
upon.
I've played God of War. I played 1, 2, and 3, and they've left out quite a few. Atlas. Well, I don't know if Atlas would be considered an asshole. I'm pretty sure that Zeus was an asshole for having Atlas carry the world.
Yeah, but he was one of the Titans, though. Honestly, there's the one guy who was sentenced to be hungry and thirsty for the rest of eternity.
Right.
Right, but that's nowhere near as bad as having to push a boulder uphill
for eternity,
or having an eagle every day come and rip your guts out.
Eventually.
Just being hungry and thirsty, but not actually dying. It's not that bad.
Eventually, though, for eternity, so you're literally immortal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you'd be strong enough to push that boulder up the hill.
Technically.
Wouldn't you? Eventually your muscles, you would get to just be to where you're just pure strength.
But much like Eagle Man, every day he was, healed, so perhaps they're, turned back to when they're still weak.
Oh yeah, I guess if you're not allowed to progress.
Also, the guy who has to push the boulder, he doesn't get to stop for eat food and drinks either.
That's true.
He's getting double punishment.
That's true.
And I think Aphrodite did a bunch of crazy stuff. I thought
maybe even if he could push it up, it'd be that infinite stairwell in Mario 64, where you just keep running up it but never get to the top.
Yeah, you gotta jump backwards. Or else you'll never get up. You ever see that speedrun strat where they jump backwards, hit the stairs?
I tried that. That didn't work.
It happens. That's how it do it.
It's a glitch.
You have to jump backwards and then you and you get sucked up the stairs.
Amazing.
It's amazing. It's truly great.
I need to watch that.
I can show you something better. I could show you an animated version of a Mario 64 speedrun.
Very nice.
Pretty great.
So what do you think there? What do you think there, Goose? What do you think about next week? What should we look at?
Next week, I'm thinking let's go around the world. Let's look at some cultures.
Some culture traditions. I love it.
Yeah.
I think there's one. It's called the Christmas log, if I remember right.
The Christmas log.
Yeah.
Not a euphemism, is it?
I don't think so. We'll find out next time on the Folklore Scrolls.
See you later.
Holla at you later.